아니요, 괜찮아요. 그냥 괜찮아요.
N'importe quoi.
외국인은 안 돼요.
It's not all, but you know, kind of puts a damp on your plans. Hey girl, long time no see. Not really, you've seen us like last week. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We are back with another house hunting diary. For those who don't know, Leslie and I, BB, we have been living in Korea for the past 7 years and we know moving. We've been moving places. Like every time we had something like a new job or school or whatever, we had been moving, so we kind of know our way around real estate agencies. We've been through the process. I've been looking for a new place for myself. We have been trying to take you guys along, so we already have one vlog up. It has been cold in the country, cold girl, but that did not deter us from going on yet another house hunting adventure, should I say. This time we went to the Nonhyeon area just to see what they had. You know that you have like the Gangnam area that's very known. Near it is Nonhyeon, which is actually quite popular with foreigners. Most of the models that I know live around there, not most, but a few. So you will see what we've seen and I will tell you my impressions. If you like this kind of content, please don't hesitate to subscribe. If you guys are ever looking to move to Korea, you can see what's out there, you can see how it works. Let's get into the most recent house hunting diary.
C'est un peu sombre. Il n'y a pas de frigo et tout. Ça c'est quoi? Ah, bureau genre.
Ouais. Oh.
C'est la penderie quoi.
C'est pas une bonne vue, mais bon, c'est une décor.
C'est la penderie. Maintenant est-ce qu'il y a la lumière?
Non.
Ouais, non.
약간
오.
donner vue. Tu devais shooter ici, c'est ça là. Le mur est blanc. Tu te mets là.
냉장고만 없어요. 세탁기랑 방에 에어컨이랑 있는데
아, 이거는 뺄 수 없죠.
어떤 거?
여기 안 보이는 거.
이거는 네 이거를 좀
아, 이거 보통 왜
사생활고 옆동물에서
J'ai jamais compris ça.
C'est joli hein? C'est
Attends,
nice.
네네.
Oh, c'est sombre par contre.
En gros, la lumière est...
Ça vient vraiment que de là quoi. Même les toilettes, il n'y a pas...
Honestly, for this first house, we kind of commented a lot in French. That's why we had to add subtitles, because we were kind of like in the moment. I don't have much to add except on top of what we've already said. It's really nice. It's really big. Do I need a 2-room right now as I live by myself? Do I want to put the money in for myself just as like a want rather than a need? Not really. And second, it was way too dark. So again, it doesn't show on camera, to be fair, which is kind of annoying because sometimes we want you to see the reality of it. So you're probably like, oh come on, like you're exaggerating. It was really like way too dark. That was my only issue, because honestly the veranda was really nice. I could have, you know, filmed some content there, but the whole layout was really cool. I could have had like a nice little closet, and yeah, I feel like if I had like a 9 to 5 and I was just, you know, it was just like a place to sleep in, it would be good. But I work from here, so it's really hard for me to be in a place that's too dark like all day. And we turned off the light and it was like, even the lady was kind of like, ah. And so if it was going to be that dark, I don't know if I was ready to put the price, so we moved on to the next house.
아, 예, 알겠습니다. 저기
Ah, mais c'est très bien.
C'est une chambre un peu petite.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. 와. 오.
보시면 사진 찍은 것 같으죠? 네. 냉장고, 여기 수납, 여기
그리고
건강은
the
안
view.
했는데 바뀌잖아요.
와. And then là for now you have light quoi.
하고 같이는 100만 원.
아, 거기는 105. 어떻게 여기가 더 싸요?
그러니까는 여기 집 주. 네. 안쪽으로 깊게 돼 있어서 공간이 꽤 넓어요.
It's really nice. Huh?
그러면 지금 싹 뺀다고.
For this second apartment, which we call an officetel, which is in one of those kind of like brand new or newer buildings, you can hear Leslie being like, oh, it's really nice and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, it's nice because it's bright, which was kind of like my only problem with the first apartment. But to be fair, I lived in a very similar place back in Incheon, but that place was twice the size. So I don't know if that's the reason, but just seeing the same layout, but like shrunk and being twice as expensive as my previous house, it was kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, and be enthusiastic about it, simply because I was just like, nah, I've seen this before, but this is feeling very like compact. And the person hadn't taken out their stuff yet, but even with it, I knew that even if they took it out, it would kind of feel the same. We kind of saw a similar house and I was like, oh yeah, it feels a little bit like larger, but it didn't really change much. So my issue here is that although it's really nice, it's just very congested. Not because of the stuff that was in the house, but just because I lived in a bigger place with the same layout. So I was like, oh, I feel like I'm regressing. Like, why pay double the money? Just for the location? Nah.
Wow. Wow.
한번 그 먼지 제거는 해야 되겠죠.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, 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 okay. This is crazy.
좋죠. 네.
Oh no, what?
Okay, for this particular place, honestly, you're probably gonna be like, you have too many, how do I call them? Too many requirements, I guess. But again, I mentioned that I lived in a very similar layout. So when it's so much smaller and double the price, it feels a bit weird, even though the location is obviously the reason for the price. Now the view was amazing. I'm not even going to lie. The view is absolutely amazing. It's the type of view that would make you happy for sure. So there's probably a part of me that would have been happy living there. But again, I think I was just stuck on the size for the price, which again is not necessarily rational because the place that I lived was back in Incheon. So you have to do a trade-off, but I think I simply wasn't, I had to think about it more. And so the guy showed us kind of like a similar place in like a lower floor, which for some reason was more expensive. I don't know why, but he showed us the place, which also had a really nice view, a little less of a view than the other one.
C'est le même layout, juste. C'est toi ça. C'est vraiment toi, ouais.
But I don't know. I think I was just stuck on the fact that it was, I would say, over budget. Because to be fair, my budget was, the cap was, I would say, $700. So when it's like over that and it's like not the, oh, I love this place that I feel, then it's kind of hard. So we kind of just had to go to another place. But honestly, this area has really nice places. That's why Leslie was so enthusiastic.
Guys, there's some pretty places out there. That's crazy.
So nice. The views are crazy.
Oh my god, that's the best view I've seen in an apartment.
Yeah.
It's better than the one you had in Incheon.
Yeah,
Because
well,
you can see
I mean,
Namsan.
yeah.
Namsan. Ugh,
Kind of in the middle of the city too.
disgustingly beautiful. Direct bus from my place, direct metro, subway. I'm disgusted. It's too expensive. Ugh. And And also, when you think about it, it's not that expensive for foreigners that work with like
Yeah, like
foreign
a 9 to
companies or
5,
something
yeah.
like this. You can make the money to live here. Actually,
Yeah.
you can.
It's just you have to have a fixed salary.
Yeah.
The minute you skip 1 month, you're dead. You're done. You gotta go. Gotta go.
Okay, so we have one more
One more.
today,
and go home.
but honestly, like we visited some pretty
Pretty places.
nice ones, huh?
Yeah.
And they all have like some something,
A little something.
some, you know. Anyway, this is a very cute neighborhood. In a very expensive neighborhood actually, but very cute nonetheless. And the little church over there is giving a vibe. It's a vibe. We are still late, but it's a vibe.
All right, before we get to the last place, I just want to preface by saying we look and we don't judge. That sounds terrible. It was just funny. The whole entire, at least for me, the whole entire experience was very funny. The real estate agent who welcomed us was very like, I don't know, in French we say so speed. Like he was very like, oh, which was already kind of like, okay, like not throwing us off, but I was just like, all right, please chill so we can concentrate. But he was like, he clearly was busy. He was like, I ain't got time for this. Let's go. Da, da, da. So we followed him and yeah, this place in particular was not bad in terms of size. The view wasn't bad. I don't know what that lady had going on. Apparently she was getting married, that's why she was leaving. And so I'm sure she had a lot of things to take care of, a lot of things on her plate, but baby!
Very big.
여기요 동이야.
First of all, we got in and we got greeted by the smell first. And even when you know that once you move in, they're gonna clean up the place, it just doesn't leave a very great impression. The state in which she left the place was really hard for me to like project myself. I was just like trying not to touch anything. I was trying not to touch anything. Leslie was just kind of like standing there like, we were trying to be polite and nice, but she left the space. Even the guy was like, she's very busy these days. I'm sure she's not always like leaving the place. There were flies everywhere. You don't see much flies in Korea. And like just weird things, and she had a pet, and so there was a smell from the pet, and it was just really hard to concentrate. And I think I got used to an apartment being like divided. Even in Korea, I know that like studios are very common, and I'm so used to them. I lived in studio for the first 3-4 years here, but now that I have like a bit of a separation between the kitchen and bathroom and the rest of the place, it's kind of hard for me to have a big space, and I'm just like, how am I going to like figure out like the placement of things? That's pretty much the reason, because it was expensive, but it was reasonable for the place for sure. We were just like, let me get out of here quickly. So yeah, that was pretty much it. This one time around was a little bit more disappointed, probably because I said yes to seeing things that were over my budget. I'm not gonna lie. And it's not that they're over my budget. I could be like, okay, but as a freelancer, I think I mentioned it.
The minute you skip 1 month, you're dead. You gotta go.
If you miss a month of work, yeah, and maybe, oh, in January you didn't do much, it's one paycheck away from I can't pay my rent, which is very scary. Obviously, you have to save your money and make sure you have money aside, but just the idea of risking such a huge amount of money every month and maybe even having to take into my savings, I was kind of scared. So I was like, I don't know if I should go for such a high amount, especially if it doesn't fit all my criteria. My current house is not that big, but I like it. I remember when I first got in, I was like, ooh, I like this place for some reason. The kitchen is separated, bed. You know, I have a space, like a living room space. My bed is placed and it's not huge, but it's fine. Everything is very comfortable. The only thing is the location. So I was just hoping to find something that kind of gives me the same cozy feeling in closer locations to the center of Seoul. But I guess obviously the budget is just not budgeting. Like, I'm paying half of what these apartments were asking. So we still have not found the place and we still have some to look. But hopefully this was a little bit helpful to anybody who is just interested in knowing what the real estate market is like for, I guess, a freelancer, or if you're in your 20s or 30s and you live alone. This is kind of what we have. You have the villas, you have the officetels, you have the apartments. If you have any other questions, please let us know in the comments and we will see you in the next video. Bye.